So, you wanna know how to boost your drop rate? That's super important for your grinding Elsword, cause increasing your drop rate lets you snag droppables way easier, not just speeding up your progression, but also letting you drop that high market value item and make tons of ED selling to the other players. In this video, I will teach you how to increase your drop rate, how this boost actually works, and why you should care about pumping it up if you want max efficiency in your farming. First off, how does the drop rate increase actually works, and why it is so important to stack it up on your character? Drop rate boost doesn't multiply on top of the base drop chance. They create extra instances of drop chance for your character. In practical terms, if a stage has, let's just say, 10% chance to drop an item, applying a 100% drop rate boost won't make it to 20%. It will give you two separate 10% chances. So the more instances, the better your odds of getting the item that you want. Plus, this is a killer for guaranteed drop farms, letting you get double, triple, what you would normally snag for one-time clear, like X-Skill circuits for an example. If you're building X-Skill gear, stacking drop rate on your character will net you way more circuits in Serpentium than someone who ignored it. But how do you actually boost this drop rate? Unlike EXP boosts, which I covered in my previous video, drops aren't easy or handed out. So I will give you every single options to max your farm efficiency. As I said before, having two L mastery pages is key. One for raw power increase and other for the farm and grind stats. The top two stats to increase on your farm page, yes, it is XP and drop. You should pump 100 points into drop chance and you get plus 200% drop rate, putting you way ahead right away. 200% means 3 total drop instances on stage items and gear, so you shouldn't sleep on stacking this stat. Another way to increase the drop rate, it is the force passive called Get Greedy. Once you reach Masterclass, you can equip this passive, which can add up to 170% drop rate increase under the best conditions. Grab it by buying from the market, dropping from Vanimir dungeons onward, or trading 200 time space shards with Glaive. It has 3 rarities: Rare, Elite, and Unique. You should upgrade this to Unique rarity by doing the weekly Henry's special stage, so you can exchange your time space shards for force passive upgrade stones up to Unique version. That instantly adds 20% drop rate and it scales with combat power, max to 3 million combat power. Say that you snag Unique rarity Get Greedy at 3 million combat power. This means that you get 170% drop in one passive slot. With L Mastery, that's pretty much 370% total so far. But there's more ways to stack, so let's take it slow. Remember those Henir's special stage time space shards for upgrading Get Greedy? You should use them to buy the drop metal straight from Glaive, which is 50 shards each. This metal will last one day. It will give you plus 50% drop rate, which is perfect for heavy farming days or hunting specifics, but with this metal, we will get a total 420% drop rate. Now this requires a big investments, especially for those who are efficiency chasers. Just like EXP weapon, you can build a pure drop rate weapon. Is this worth it? Well, it depends on your setup. Endgame stages like Atmaran and Mirrodell blocks drop boosts. Maybe they can change this in the future? I don't know. But for Serpentium circuits, a drop weapon saves tons of runs and guarantees more drops for X skill. The building, it is pretty much like an XP weapon. You should use a prior weapon, a well-refined stage for power so you are not too weak to use it, and you should use the Mystic Enchantment system. There are 9 slots each on non-giant stones. red and yellow will max 2% drop rate per slot, and blue stones will give you maximum 3%, and giant stones will give you plus 10% per slot. So if you max everything out, you get a total of 93% drop potential, and this is huge, almost like a full extra instance from just the weapon alone. With our prior stats, this will add up to 513% total. Is there any more way to increase drop rate? Yeah, titles can boost your drop rate too. And the best one now, it is one called the Sealer of Plagas, which you can get it by clearing Plagas Labyrinth 50 times. This is a great EXP farming title, but also gives you plus 20% drop rate. You should equip this title if you want to focus your drop rate boost. So now, adding this to our prior stats, now we have 533% drop rate. Another way to increase drop rate even further is through the Search Party collection. If you create a Gem Bliss and advance her to her master class, placing her in the Search Party collection will grant you a passive plus 3% drop rate increase. If you also want to create an Apsara and advance her to her master class, you can activate her synergy in the Search Party synergy page. When activated in one of the synergy slots, it will grant you a buff called Accomplished Steps, providing plus 8% drop rate. This results in an additional 11% drop rate, bringing your total to 544% drop rate increase. I will make a quick mention here without including it into our calculations, but some Atmaran accessories can roll fixed drop rate effects, allowing you to gain a little bit more drop rate if you are lucky enough to obtain them, preferably on wind accessories which are focused on farming. And before we finish this video, I also need to mention another way to obtain drop rate increases: in-game events. Yes, when Elsword hosts double drop events, your drop rate effectively increases by 100%, and your ED gain also increases by 100%. For the sake of our calculations, we will add another 100% for these special occasions. This brings the total potential drop rate increase to 644%. So, what does this mean in practice? With 644% drop rate increase, you are essentially creating 6 additional guaranteed drop instances during a dungeon run and getting close to a 7th possible instance. This means that in dungeons where drops are guaranteed and consistent, instead of receiving just one droppable item, you could obtain 6 additional drops with a chance for a 7th. Of course, there are dungeons where drops are limited regardless of your drop rate increase. A good example would be the magic crystals obtained at the end of the dungeon. You will not receive more than 2 because the dungeon limits the maximum to just 2 drops. However, when farming circuits where there is no drop limit, this is where the drop rate increase truly shines. It makes you a much more efficient farmer and greatly improves your chances of obtaining good circuits for your XSQ equipment. And for dungeons where drop items are rare, creating 6 additional drop instances is practically increases your chances of obtaining that item 6 times, which is also excellent for players who want to drop expensive items and make a good amount of money. And that's it for today's video. I hope you understood the importance of increasing your drop rate and preparing your character with equipment focus on this stat, because it will definitely add a lot of quality of life to your grind. Thanks for your attention everyone, take care, and I will see you in game.